Well guys, we're taking this block and this head to the machine shop. I take my blocks and stuff over to Poteek's Engines. That's in Kannapolis, North Carolina. They've always done really good quality work for me. I'm going to have the block and head honed. Well, not the head honed. I'm gonna have the block honed and decked, and then I'm gonna do the head as well. I'm gonna have a fresh deck. That way we're not having any leaks or anything like that. So stay tuned. It's gonna be awesome. Well, I just dropped the block off at Poteek's and the head, and they're gonna give me a call back when it's done. The next video clip you will see, I will have the block back in the head, and then we're gonna start putting the pistons and the rods together that I've got, and go from there. All right guys, so fast forward 3 days later, got the, oh shit, kicked my bolts. Fast forward 3 days later, we got the block back and the head from the machine shop, and this is finished product on it. Cross hatches put in here. You can barely see, but yeah. So what we got here, let me see if I can get this thing turned around. So what we got here is our Scat rods and our P30 piston combo that we're going to be throwing down into this motor when the time comes. I still got to get a ring filer and stuff, but here's our Scat rods. It's going into the block, and I believe the torque specs that I'm going to be using on this application here will be the 3/8 ARP 874 lock wash. I think that might be it. No, it's actually this one here. So we're going to be running about 50 pounds of torque with Moly lube, or ARP Moly lube. So let's get this back into the box. You guys already see this. And then we have here is the P30 piston that we are running for this application. Give me a second. It's our P30 piston. It's going down into the block. And then this is our nice cross hatch that we have into the block. So I gotta get all this cleaned up. It's a little oily and stuff, so I want to get all that cleaned up. So right now, I'm going to be taking off these main caps here and lubing up the bearing journals here for the new crankshaft, and you'll see that in the next clip. What I like to do is grab the bolts like this right here, lift them up, a little bit of turning, shaking, whatever, they come right on out. All of our stuff in our pile. We'll do it again to this one. Give her a shake. She should come right on out, just like that. Now remember, every time you take these out, your arrows here for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 always face the cam side where your water pump, all that good stuff goes. You never want to get these mixed up or the opposite way. And then when you have that, you smash your bearings and have to get new bearings. And that sucks. I did that one time when I first started doing these builds, not lining these up the right way. So I just forgot, honestly. Noob mistakes. Got one more. Give it a shake. Wipe all this rust and stuff from the machine shop. What the hell happened there? What the fuck happened there? Hopefully that won't hurt nothing. Alright, so our crank that I've got going in here. Like my last video when I did the valve stem seals, yes. I used this engine assembly lube on my block, and this is basically what we're gonna do. We're gonna put this on, give a nice coat around these journal bearings again, and then go for it. There's my little buddy there. All right, let's get started. Okay, so now that the crank's in, well, it's not all the way in, but I just got it set in place here. I got to put in my journal bearings, which goes right in here, which I have some. This is all my parts that's going back into the Civic from when I tore it down. Mistaken. They might be in here. Yes, they are. So I got my King Race bearings. They will be going with or in the piston and rod combo set up in this block. But for now, I'm gonna put these Thrush Bearings, whatever they're called. So we got one. Let's see here. What I always like to do is set them in here like so. Like so. And then just feed them in. Crank slid over a little bit. Actually, I'll set that one there for now. A little hard to put in there sometimes, actually. Okay, so basically I had to pull the crank back out and set those back in. But we have it sitting in there pretty good. This one moves a little bit, but that's typical until I put my caps back on. Put you guys on a tap lapse or fast forward while I install the caps back on. All right, see how I got them in here? We got one facing this way, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to tighten these down and do a torque spec. I probably should have went and got some plastic gauge. I probably will do that later on. Right now I'm just butting stuff up for now and seeing where we go. I've got the specs looked up for the main clearance and the rod bearing clearance. Not too sure right offhand. I believe it was 0.18 maybe. If I'm wrong, I will put it up in the description, or not description, I will put it up in the video as it's planned. Alright, so I got ahead of myself and didn't record the process. I had ended up gapping the top ring at 0.19, and the second ring here was 0.20, which got those done. Coming over here to this block, I'm gonna always do it with the, hold on a second, it's gotta focus. There's a dot right here. What I like to do is put the ring down here in the block, like so. Take my piston, kind of flatten it out, like so. Alright, now got your filler gauge here, which this spec should be 0.019. I'll gap that a little bit. Okay, so I went over there and filed my ring over there at the filing table. So we're gonna put that ring back in there, get it even. Come back over here, grab our gauge. And this should fit right. I need a little bit more done. Alright, so I didn't record the other process of me gapping the rings with the filer due to, you know, I need both hands to file rings, technically. So I've already did this one here, which, like I said in last clip, it was 0.19 for the top and 0.21 for the middle ring here. On my case, I didn't have the 0.21, so I went ahead and used the 0.20, which it's still in spec. I don't think it's really gonna hurt much, but as you see, after you file these rings, it's literally just supposed to go in just like that, just like this. Just like this. Alright, so I've got the rings on. I got my secondary or middle ring here and the top ring. What I like to do is when I put these together, I like to clock these ring gaps here. Put one here on the corner of the exhaust valve relief, and then bring around and put this second ring on that side. That way you got a perfectly good gap on the rings itself. So I've already did those two Now I gotta do the rings on here. I'm not gonna record this process because literally all you do is take the ring and slide it over the piston, put it in these grooves, and counterclock the gap that's on the piston ring itself. Like I said, I put one here, one adjacent on the other side. Then I like to take my middle oil ring here and put one gap there, or one end of it there, and the other gap right here. Stay tuned. Next clip will be all of these done and going into the block. Okay, so now we are finished with the crank assembly over here. I didn't record this session of me doing the torque spec for the crank. First step was 18, second step was 52 pounds, and that's on the mains itself. The pistons now are ready to go in. I'm gonna pull my ring compressor here that I use. Move this over here. I use the OEM piston ring compressor. I actually ordered this off of eBay. Part number I believe is 27039. It covers 53 millimeter to 125 millimeter bore, and this is what we're going to use for the pistons. I'm going to set you guys up and go through the process. Basically what I'm going to do is put this piston right here. Let's see here, intake side. Setting this block for now. And I will pretty much put this over that and hammer it into the block. Stay tuned. Okay, so I thought I was recording myself putting this piston in this block, but it looks like I wasn't. So here we have the piston inside of the block. Basically I just use my compressor here and put it around the piston. Make sure the compressor is flush with this deck here. That way when you go to put the pistons in, you don't have to hit it with a hammer. You can literally just push it in with your fingers. I'll set this back up again and show you another clip of the next piston that I put in, and then after that you'll see the whole block fully assembled. So stay tuned. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the process of putting this ring or these pistons inside this block using the ring compressor here. So basically what you want to do is you want to start off and unravel all this, not all of it, but a good portion of it. That way you can get it over your piston. And make sure your rings are where they're supposed to be at. Again, I like to put my ring gaps adjacent from each other. Ringling gaps, whatever you want to call these. Then take this and tighten it up. Alright, now once that's tightened, see, intake side this way. Let's turn the crank. You want to hit that, make sure all your ring compressor's flat with this decking, and then once it's ready to go, you should be able to literally push it in with your fingers. Let's see if I can get it to do that. Give me a second here. Try this again. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. I was literally recording a while ago and thought I was recording, so I had this cylinder in, or this piston in the cylinder. So I'm gonna redo it. Here we are. Got her to go in that time. Only took 4 minutes. And there it is. Now, next clip, you'll see I'm gonna have all the pistons inside of this block and fully rotating. I'm not gonna go through all the time to record this, sit here and show you guys the process of this, you know, putting pistons in this block, because I'm sure you guys seen a lot of videos of them doing it. And I want to try to keep this video under 20 minutes if possible. All right, see you next clip. Okay, so I've got the pistons and rods in the block right now. Next video I'm gonna make, I will be doing rod and main clearances. Definitely want to check them. I usually don't do rod clearance checks, because I've never really had an issue with that. But like I said, this is all aftermarket stuff, so I want to make sure I'm doing it right this time. Even though I've never done really bearing clearances on any other motor I've had, and never really had an issue with the knocking noise. But we'll do it a little different with this one. This rotates pretty good now. If I can get this motor stand to stay. She rotates pretty good. All right, so next will be putting the oil pump on, putting some RTV on that, and same thing with this side. Once this is done, pretty much short block will be done. Other than that, I have to clean up my oil pan and stuff like that. But yeah, here it is. B30 pistons and a B20 block with the Scat rods. I just hurt myself. It's okay. Let me pull this. Alright. Now I will be torquing these bolts here to 70 foot-pounds of torque. I don't have plastic gauge at the moment, so on my next video I'm making, I will be doing that. But until then, further ado, I'm going to complete this oil pump and this off camera, because it's really nothing specific you got to do. You just put RTV around this, put your oil pump on, and torque it spec. Other than that, the B20 block is complete.